Government to unveil relief package for groups impacted by Middle East crisis. Opposition alleges unannounced power cuts. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa given deadline to declare assets and income. Sinopec hikes super diesel price. Families urge repatriation of 45 Sri Lankans held in Kuwait detention centre. We can take out Iran in a day and it may be tomorrow. Iran's Khamenei may be unconscious.
The top story on Gold FM.
Now, following a series of highly classified US military incursions into Iranian territory, United States President Donald Trump has delivered an unprecedented ultimatum to Tehran. Speaking from the White House, he warned of the absolute destruction of Iranian infrastructure if his demands, which heavily feature the global transit of oil, are not met by tomorrow night.
And an entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We have to have a deal that's acceptable to me. And part of that deal is going to be, we want free traffic of oil.
Now, following the IRGC's shooting down of an American F-15E fighter jet, sensitive information regarding missing American personnel was leaked to the press. The president, visibly angered by the breach of operational security, has now issued a direct threat not only to the anonymous whistleblower but to the media organizations that published the story.
As you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour, and then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker, and talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out, because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about. There's some things you can't do, because when they did that, all of a sudden, the entire country of Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land that was fighting for his life. And it also made it much more difficult for the pilots and for the people going in to search for him. All of a sudden, they know that there's somebody out there. They see all these planes coming in. It became a much more difficult operation, because a leaker leaked that we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for anybody that captures the pilot. So in addition to a hostile, very talented, very good, very evil military, we had millions of people trying to get an award. So when you add that to it, but we have to find that leaker, because that's a sick person. Probably didn't realize the extent of how bad it was. I can't imagine that the person did, but we're going to find out. It's national security, and the person that did the story will go to jail if he doesn't say, and that doesn't last long, and I think everybody would understand it. They put this mission at great risk. They put that man at great risk, and they put the hundreds of people that went in looking for him, because everyone now knows that we're going in.
Trump also expressed intense frustration over what he sees as a lack of immediate support from its traditional European partners. The president signalled out the UK and dismissed the NATO alliance entirely as paper tigers.
I think it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear in my mind. You know, they're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things, you know. But they said it loud and clear at the beginning. When I spoke to UK of all, I would have said they would have been the first, because they're the oldest. And I say, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them. You know, we have, in terms of technology, we had one day 101 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour aimed at the Abraham Lincoln. 101 missiles. Out of 101 missiles, 101 missiles were shot down. NATO's, look, we went to NATO. I didn't ask very strongly. I just said, hey, if you want to help, great. No, we will not help. I said, that's all right. You don't want to help? Because I've always said NATO's a paper tiger. See, NATO is a paper tiger. Putin's not afraid of NATO. Putin's afraid of us, very afraid of us. And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's a paper tiger. NATO is us.
Now the White House insists it is ready to act unilaterally if the conditions are not immediately met. While acknowledging a significant response from Tehran, the president dismissed the proposal as insufficient to avert an expanded military operation. Now the escalation comes as a leaked diplomatic memo suggests that Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, is currently incapacitated and possibly unconscious, raising urgent questions regarding the country's command structure during the crisis. In the meantime, reports reached Hero News of 45 Sri Lankan domestic workers stranded insecurely in Kuwait amid the escalating war tension in the Middle East. The group is currently held at a detention centre and states that their lives are in danger due to attacks targeting the airport located near the facility. Speaking to the news division from the detention centre, they said that some individuals now experience respiratory difficulties due to smoke caused by fires following the attacks. The stranded workers expressed grave concern over their safety as the conflict intensified in the vicinity.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
Leader of the House Bimal Ratnaik informed Parliament that the cabinet approval was granted for a relief package targeting groups affected by the ongoing war in the Middle East. In the meantime, the Ministry of Fisheries confirmed that under this scheme, small fishing boats receive a 50 rupee subsidy per litre starting April 20th. Multi-day fishing vessels qualify for a relief payment of 150,000 rupees per voyage. These measures aim to cushion the industry against rising operational costs linked to regional instability. Member of Parliament Mujibur Rahman informed Parliament today that unannounced power cuts are currently taking place across the country. In response, the subject minister Kumara Jayakodi stated that the interruptions occurring in certain areas are electricity breakdowns rather than intentional power cuts. Now, meanwhile, the Speaker presented a Special Auditor General's report to Parliament today regarding the coal purchasing process of the Lanka Coal Company for the Lakvijaya power plant. The report covers coal procurement for the 2025 to 2026 season. Leader of the House, Minister Bimal Ratnaik, alongside members of Parliament Ajit P. Pereira, S.M. Marikkar and Dayasiri Jayasekara also shared their views on the matter during today's session.
ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ 154 6 ව්‍යවස්ථා ප්‍රකාරව විගණකාධිපතිවරයාගේ වාර්තාවේ 10 වෙනි කාණ්ඩයේ ලක්විජය බලාගාරය සඳහා ලංකා ගල් අඟුරු සමාගම විසින් ගල් අඟුරු මිලදී ගැනීමේ ක්‍රියාවලිය සහ 2025-2026 වාරය සඳහා ගල් අඟුරු ප්‍රසම්පාදනය පිළිබඳ විශේෂ විගණන වාර්තාව මම ඉදිරිපත් කරමි.
කරු කතානායකතුමනි කී වාර්තා මුද්‍රණය කළ යුතුයි මම යෝජනා කරා.
අපි දන්නවා මේ වාර්තාව ඉතා සංවේදී සහ ඉතා බරපතල කරුණු නිගමනයන් අන්තර්ගත කරන මොහොතේ අපේ මේසය මත මේ වාර්තාව තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම සිකුරාදා මේ විෂය පිළිබඳ විශ්වාසභංග යෝජනාවක් තියෙනවා. මේ තත්ත්වය තුල ඇයි පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ මන්ත්‍රීවරු 225 දිනකටම මේ වාර්තාව ලබා දෙන්නේ නැත්තේ? අපිට අවශ්‍යයි මේක.
ටේබල් කරාට පස්සේ තමයි ඒක
අද ටේබල් කරන්න තියෙන්න ඕනේ.
මේසය මතට ලැබෙන්නේ කියලා තමයි
සමාන්තරව එක ලබා දෙනවා කරු කතානායකතුමනි.
එක කොපියක් ගරු මන්ත්‍රීතුමා ලයිබ්‍රරියටත් දීලා තියෙනවා කියලා තියෙනවා.
අපිට මේක අධ්‍යයනය කරන්න ඕන. අඩු ගන්න සංක්ෂිප්ත හරි ලබා දීමට කටයුතු කරන්න.
හරි ගරු
මේක කවද්ද අපිට print කරලා ලබලා දෙන්න කියලා ඔබතුමා අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් නම්
print out එක අරන් තියෙන ගරු මන්ත්‍රීතුමා ලැබෙන්න සලස්වනවා.
ඒවා වාර්තා කිරීම හෝ ඉදිරිපත් කිරීම ලේකම් මණ්ඩලය සහ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවක් යන ඕන දෙයක්. ඒක ලේකම් මණ්ඩලයෙන්
ලේකම් මණ්ඩලයේ වගකීම් බාර ගන්න ඕනේ ඒක බෙදා හැරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්.
සභාව වෙනුවෙන් තමයි මම යෝජනා කරන්නේ එකී වාර්තා මුද්‍රණය කළ යුතුයි මම යෝජනා කරමි කියලා කියයි. ඉන් පසුව තමයි බලය ලැබෙන්නේ මේ මුද්‍රණය කරන්න. සෑම වාර්තාවක්ම අපි මුද්‍රණය කරන්න කියලා මෙතන සම්මත කරගන්නේ නැහැ. සමහර ඒවා ඔටෝමැටිකලි මෙතන ඔබතුමාගේ නියෝග මත එනවා. ඒ නිසා මෙතන කිසිම ආකාරයකින් මේ වාර්තාව මේ මුද්‍රණය කිරීමට බාධා කිරීමක් කොහෙවත් සිදු වෙලා නැහැ. මේක පාර්ලිමේන්තු විස්තර අනුකරණය ඔයගොල්ලෝ තිබෙන ක්‍රමය.
විදුලියත් හොරෙන් කපනවා. ඇයි දැන් ආණ්ඩුවක් හැටියට මේ හොරෙන් විදුලිය කපන්නේ?
අපි එහෙම ෂෙඩියුල් කරලා කපනවා නම් අනිවාර්යෙන් දඩුවත් කරලා කපනවා කියලා ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න කැමතියි.
මම එතුමා අහක බලාගෙන උත්තරේ දුන්නේ. මේ මයික් එක බලාගෙන නෙමෙයි. ඇහුන්නේ නැහැ.
එතුමා දේශ බලලා උත්තර දුන්නේ.
හෙඩ්ෆෝන් එක දාන්න හොඳ නැහැ නේද?
ෂෙඩියුල් කරලා පව කට්ටයක් කරනවා නම් අනිවාර්යෙන් ඉදිරියේදී දැනුම් දීමෙන් පසුව කරන බව මේ සභාවට කියන්න කැමතියි.
ඒ කියන්නේ නොදන්නවා කපාගෙන යනවා. ඊයේ මං හිතන්නේ මේ කොළඹ 7 විපක්ෂ නායක කාර්යාලය අවටත් පැය භාගයකට වඩා වැඩි දවල් කාලේ විදුලිය කපාදු කරා. ඉතින් ඇයි මේ දැනුම් නොකර කපන්නේ?
ජනතාව නොමග යවන්න මතු කරන ප්‍රශ්න විදුලි පද්ධතියේ යම් බිඳවැටීම් නිරන්තරව සිදු වෙනවා. ඒක අලුත් දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. ඒවට අවශ්‍ය ශක්තිමත් කිරීමේ ව්‍යාපෘතිත් අපි ක්‍රියාත්මක කරගෙන යනවා. ඒ අනුව යම් වෙලාවට පොඩි වෙලාවල් ඇතුළත බිඳවැටීම් සිදු වෙනවා. ඒවා අපි ශනිකව ඉතා කෙටි කාලයක් ඇතුළත යථා තත්ත්වයට පත් කිරීමට අවශ්‍ය කටයුතු කරනවා. ඒ හින්දා ඒක කපා හැරීමක් නොව බිඳවැටීමක් කියලා සඳහන් කරගත්තොත් හොඳයි කියලා මම යෝජනා කරනවා.
Moving on in more local news, the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption ordered former President Mahinda Rajapaksa to submit his declaration of assets and liabilities. The Commission directed that these financial disclosures must be provided by an affidavit before the 10th of this month.
Now for some news in brief.
Laws regarding the administration of physical punishment to children are being strengthened. The legal director of the National Child Protection Authority, Preetika Sakalasuriya, announced that a new clause is being added to the penal code.
The business news on Gold FM.
Global oil prices climbed sharply today as US imposed deadlines approached for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face military action. Brent crude rose to $111.51 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate jumped over 3% to $115.86. Tehran continues to reject US ceasefire proposals, demanding a permanent end to the conflict instead.
International news on Gold FM.
The Artemis 2 astronauts are bound for Earth after traveling 252,756 miles from our planet, the furthest distance humans have ever ventured into space. During their historic lunar flyby, Commander Reid Weissman, Victor Glover and Christina Koch, as well as Jeremy Hansen, conducted scientific observations of the moon's far side and witnessed a total solar eclipse from the Orion spacecraft. The crew briefly lost contact with NASA for 40 minutes while behind the moon, an expected outage before successfully re-establishing communications to share images they described as surreal and indescribable. US President Donald Trump spoke directly to the crew to congratulate them on making history and invited the 4 astronauts to the White House upon their return.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Sixteen-time Grammy winner Lady Gaga cancelled her final scheduled performance at the Bell Centre in Montreal following a worsening respiratory infection. The artist shared the news with fans on social media hours before the third appearance was set to take place.
Sports news on Gold FM.
The Youth Women's Tri-Series match between the Sri Lanka and England under-19 teams is currently underway in Brisbane, Australia. After winning the toss and electing to bat first, the Sri Lankan team scored 170 runs, losing all their wickets in 42.4 overs. Limansa Tilakaratne top scored for the side with 51 runs. That's all the news for now. Stay tuned to Gold FM for the latest updates.